Let us start this video with a new conception. This conception is basically the extended conception that has been given in the previous video. Arc of z minus z1 equals to theta. What do you mean by this? This means that the variable point z is lying on the ray emanating from the point z1 and making an angle theta with the positive direction of the x-axis. Yes or no? Z is anywhere on this line. Now, two things you must remember before starting this. Number one is, any point on the complex plane can be treated as a position vector of that point. And number two, angle which is measured in anti-clockwise direction is always positive, and the angle measured in the clockwise direction is always negative. How to use this, I will teach you. But first you remember this, any angle measured in anti-clockwise direction is treated to be positive, and the angle measured in the clockwise direction is always negative. Is it clear? Now, suppose there are 2 points, Z1 and Z2. Let us say the point be A and this point be B. There is another 2 points, let us say C, which is Z3, and say D, which is Z4. Okay? Now, what is your AB vector? It is nothing but position vector of B minus position vector of A. And what is your CD vector? It is position vector of D minus position vector of C. Is it clear? Now, let us say this line is making an angle theta 1 with the positive direction of the x-axis. That is, if we extend this, then this angle is theta 1. And let us say this line joining the point C and D is making an angle, say theta 2, with the positive direction of the x-axis. Is it clear? Therefore, argument of z2 minus z1 is theta 1 and argument of z4 minus z3 is theta 2. Is it okay? Now let us say the angle between these two lines be theta. Let us say this angle is theta. So from this triangle we can say that theta 2 is nothing but theta 1 plus theta. Is it clear? Because as we know that the exterior angle of any triangle is always equals to the sum of the two opposite interior angles. So theta can be written as theta 2 minus theta 1, which is argument of z4 minus z3 minus argument of z2 minus z1. Okay? Now from the properties of argument, we can say this is nothing but argument of z4 minus z3 divided by z2 minus z1. Is it clear? Which is equals to theta. Now, this theta positive. Okay? It means what? I told you that the angle will be positive when we measure the angle in anti-clockwise direction. Since the angle is theta and it is positive, and theta is this angle, look it carefully, this angle, but we have to measure it in anti-clockwise direction. That is, the angle should be measured in this way. Yes or no? Theta is this angle, but we have to measure it in anti-clockwise direction to get positive theta. Is it okay? Now you see, for argument z4 minus z3 by z2 minus z1, theta is what? Theta is the angle between these two vectors. Now this angle is positive when we are measuring it in anti-clockwise direction. So from here we can say how to interpret this result right now. You see, this arrow is headed towards this vector, which is z4 minus z3, and it is starting from the vector z2 minus z1. Then your theta is positive. So can we get this one? That we will always start from the vector which is in the denominator to the vector which is in the numerator. Is it clear or not? Suppose if I say that argument of z1 by z2 is theta, it means what? Let me just draw the diagram. Suppose z2 is here, z1 is here. So the angle between z1 and z2 is theta. But since this theta is positive, so we will measure the angle in anti-clockwise direction. So we will start from the denominator, that is from here, and we will go to the numerator, that is z1. So the angle will be measured in this way. Is it clear? This angle will be theta in that case. Is it fine with you people or not? So whenever argument of z1 by z2 is given, we will start measuring the angle from z2 and we will end at z1. This way you must remember. Is it clear? Let us take a problem based on this. The question is, locate the complex number z on the complex plane where argument z plus iota minus argument of z minus iota is pi by 2. Is it clear? So this can be written as argument of z plus iota by z minus iota equals to pi by 2. Tell me yes or no. Now argument of z plus iota means a ray which is emanating from the point 0, minus 1 and making some angle with the positive direction of the x-axis. And argument z minus iota means z is lying on the ray emanating from the point 0, 1 and making some angle with the positive direction of the x-axis. Is it clear? Let me draw it. Look it carefully. This point is 0, minus 1 and this point is 0, 1. Let us say the variable point be this. This is your z. Now, if I join these two, the angle between them is pi by 2, but positive pi by 2. Is it clear? Since the angle between them is positive, so I have to start measuring the angle from the vector z minus iota, which is this one, to z plus iota, which is this one. Yes or no? So this angle, you see this angle is measured in anti-clockwise direction. That is why the angle between them is positive. Now since this angle is pi by 2, we can say, we know that angle in a semicircle is always 90 degree. Therefore, we can assume that z is lying on the circumference of this semicircle, but in the right hand side of the y-axis. Is it clear? Now, suppose if the point is here, let us assume, if the point is here, then what will happen? Z minus iota, that is, we are starting from this point and we are ending at this point, z plus iota, that is this, right? This vector. Now, this is how we have measured. We have measured in clockwise direction. Therefore, your theta will not be equals to pi by 2. Instead of pi by 2, it would have been minus pi by 2. Then we would have said that the point z is lying on the circumference of the circle, whose center is at the origin, but in the left hand side of the y-axis. Is it clear? Therefore, what is the locus of the given equation? The locus is the point z is moving on the circumference of a semicircle which is in the right hand side of y-axis. But remember one thing, this point and this point are excluded, because we know that when we are calculating arc of z plus iota, that is a ray which is emanating from the point 0, minus 1. 0, minus 1 is not included. Same thing with this one also. When we are calculating z minus iota, 0, 1, the point from where the ray is emanating is not included. Is it clear? Therefore, the locus of point z will be on this circumference. Is it clear or not? This is basically a circle, though my drawing is very rough, but you have to understand it. Is it clear now? Absolutely. Have you understood why this point will not be in the left hand side of the y-axis? Okay, let us take another problem. See this problem. if mod of z minus 2 is equals to mean of mod of z minus 1 mod of z minus 5, where z is a complex number, then which one of the following is correct? Real part of z is 3 by 2, real part of z is 7 by 2, real part of z is 3 by 2 or 7 by 2, and option D is none of this. So same as the previous one, mod of z minus 2 will be equated with mod of z minus 1 when mod of z minus 1, that is the distance of the variable point z from the point 1, 0 is minimum than the distance of the variable point z with the fixed point 5, 0. If that distance is minimum, we will equate it with mod of z minus 2. If this distance is minimum among these two, then mod of z minus 2 will be equated with mod of z minus 5. Is it clear or not? This is what actually means here. Okay. Now if mod of z minus 1 is equals to mod of z minus 5, let me just draw it. This is the distance of the point 1, 0 with the variable point z. This point is 1, 0. This is the distance of the variable point z with the point 5, 0, which is here. So your z is lying on the perpendicular bisector of the line joining 1, 0 and 5, 0. So it will be a line which is parallel to the y-axis and passing through the point 5 plus 1 divided by 2, that is 3, 0. That is, the equation of this line is x equals to 3. So for this case, your z is lying anywhere on this line, x equals to 3. Is it clear? Now mod of z minus 2, that is the distance of the variable point z from the point 2, 0. 2, 0 is somewhere here. Is it clear? Now that will be equals to mod of z minus 1 when this distance is least among these two distances. Now mod of z minus 1 will be least among mod of z minus 1 and mod of z minus 5 when the real part of the complex number z is lying somewhere less than 3. Tell me yes or no. If the point is lying somewhere in the left hand side of x equals to 3, then this distance will be least among the distances this and this. Tell me yes or no. Therefore, this relation is true when x is less than 3. Am I correct? And if the complex number is on the right hand side of x equals to 3, that is when x is greater than 3, then among these two distances, the minimum will be this distance. That is the distance from the point 5, 0 with the variable point z. In that case, mod of z minus 2 will be equated with mod of z minus 5. Is it clear? Now when mod of z minus 2 is equals to mod of z minus 1, this indicates that z is lying on the perpendicular bisector of the line joining 1, 0 and 2, 0. That is, the complex number z is lying on the line x equals to, that is 3 by 2. Tell me yes or no. See this. If this point is 1, 0 and this point is 2, 0, then the equation of the line which is the perpendicular bisector of the line joining these 2 points will be x equals to 1 plus 2 divided by 2. That is 3 by 2. Tell me yes or no. When z is lying, that is the complex number is lying anywhere on this line, that is x is 3 by 2, then this relation is true. Therefore, then the real part of z will take the value 3 by 2, which satisfies that given condition. Is it clear? Now let us take the next one. When mod of z minus 2 is equals to mod of z minus 5, then the variable point z will lie on the perpendicular bisector of the line joining 2, 0 and 5, 0, and whose equation will be x equals to 7 by 2. Yes or no? Tell me yes or no. Mod of z minus 2 equals to mod of z minus 5. The variable point z will lie on the perpendicular bisector of the line joining 2, 0 and 5, 0. the equation of the perpendicular bisector of the line joining 2, 0 and 5, 0 is nothing but x is 7 by 2. That is, the real part of the complex number will take the value 7 by 2, which at the same time will satisfy the given condition. Yes or no? Therefore, real value of z can be 7 by 2 also. Okay, hence option C will be correct. Now, since it's a single option correct type, that is why I have chosen only C. But if it would have been a multiple choice correct answer type, then you would have chosen A, B as well as C. Is it clear or not? Absolutely. Okay, let us move for another problem. See this question, it's a very interesting question. If mod of z minus 25 iota is less than equals to 15, then find number 1, least value of mod z, greatest value of mod z, least value of argument of z, and greatest value of argument of z. That's it. Okay. Now you will understand, if you have understood the graphical representation of complex numbers, then how easily this problem can be solved. The moment you draw the diagram, everything will be clear to you. Let me first draw the diagram on the Argand plane. Mod of z minus 25 iota equals to 15 represents a circle whose center is at 0, 25 and radius is 15 units. Is it clear? So the circle will be lying somewhere here, whose center is at 0, 25 and radius is 15. Is it clear? Absolutely. But we have been given z minus 25 iota is less than equals to 15. It means that the complex number z is lying somewhere inside the circle whose center is at 0, 25 and radius is 15. Or it can lie on the circumference of the circle also, because there is an equal sign over there. Is it clear or not? Absolutely. Okay. Now, z is anywhere on the circumference or it is inside the circle. Now, see the first question we have said that find the least value of mod z. What is mod z? Mod z is basically the distance of the point z from the origin. Z is anywhere inside the circle or on the circumference of the circle. So the least value of z is when z is here. Yes or no? Can you imagine any other point on the circumference or inside the circle which will be less than this value? No. So this is the least value of mod z. That is the distance from the origin to the point z. Yes or no? Now we have to find out what is this distance. You see, this length is 25 and the radius is 15. So obviously this length is 10. See how easily we can calculate without going for any mathematical calculation. So here, least value of mod z is 10. Is it clear to you? Now you tell me, what will be the greatest value of mod z? That is the greatest distance that mod z can take. Now when z is at this position, then your mod z will be maximum. Mod z means the distance from the origin to that point. So when z is lying here, the distance, this distance will be maximum. Can you dream of any other point where the distance will be maximum from the origin? No. So this distance is the greatest distance, that is the greatest value of mod z, which is nothing but this length is 25 and this length is 15 because it is the radius of the circle. Therefore, the greatest distance of mod z will be 25 plus 15, which is nothing but 40. Is it clear? Now we have to find out least value of argument z. Now look it carefully. Argument z means if I join the origin to the point z, the least angle that is formed by this line with the positive direction of the x-axis. Is it clear? So that is possible only when if I draw a tangent from this point, this ray emanating from the point origin, this will form the least argument of z. That is, when z is at this point, that is, this is the point of contact, and this ray is basically the tangent to this circle. When z is at this point, then only your argument of z will have least value. Tell me yes or no. And it will be maximum when z is here, that is opposite to this point, and in that case your argument will be maximum. Have you got it? Now, to calculate what is this angle, let me just join this center with this point. Let us say this angle be theta. If this angle is theta, then this angle is also theta. Tell me yes or no. Okay. Now, this is 90 degree. This length is 25. This length is 15 because this is the radius of the circle. Therefore, by applying Pythagoras theorem, we can, let me just give a name. Let it be ABC. So what will be your BC in that case? It is nothing but under root AB square minus AC square. AB is how much? 25. AC is how much? 15. So that gives us 400. That is 20. Therefore, the length of BC is 20. Now, what will be tan theta? From the triangle ABC, what is tan theta? Tan theta is nothing but BC by AC, which is 20 by 15 equals to 4 by 3. Therefore, theta is tan inverse 4 by 3. As simple as that. Therefore, the least value of argument of z is nothing but tan inverse 4 by 3. Is it clear? If this angle is theta, then this angle is also theta. Now we are trying to find out the greatest value of the argument z. As I mentioned before, that when z is at this point, you are going to get the maximum value of the argument z. Okay? So at this point, this angle is theta. So this angle, which is the argument of the complex number z when z is at this point, that is the maximum argument, is pi minus theta. Therefore, maximum argument, max arg of z is nothing but pi minus theta. That gives us pi minus tan inverse 4 by 3. Is it clear to all of you or not? Have you understood how to find out the least value of argument z and greatest value of argument z in this problem? Okay, let us move for some other problems. See this problem. If mod of z minus 2 plus iota is less than equals to 2, then find the greatest and least value of mod z. This problem we will do by two methods. One is we will apply here the triangular inequality law that I have already discussed in my first lecture. And then we will do it graphically. Okay? You will find which method is easier for you and you will apply the same method in the examination. But from my opinion, I always prefer graphical method. Okay? Please see this. From the triangular inequality, we know that is less than equals to mod of z1 plus minus z2 is less than equals to mod of z1 plus mod of z2. Okay? Now, mod of z minus 2 plus iota is less than equals to 2 can be written as, look it carefully, z minus 2 minus iota, which is less than equals to 2. Okay? Now, let me treat this thing as my z1 and this thing as my z2. Okay? So what will happen? I can write this thing as mod of z1 minus mod of z minus iota is less than equals to mod of z minus 2 minus iota. Tell me yes or no. We are applying this part only from the triangular inequality law. Which is equals to 2. Which is less than equals to 2. Clear? So we can write mod of z1 minus modulus of 2 minus iota will give you under root 5 because it is 2 square plus 1 square, that gives you root over of 5, which is less than equals to 2. So from here we can write mod of z1 minus root 5 is greater than equals to minus 2 less than equals to 2. We know that when mod x is less than equals to a, that implies x lies between minus a and a. Okay? So from here we can write root 5 minus 2 is less than equals to mod z is less than equals to root 5 plus 2. Is it clear? Therefore, the maximum value of mod z is root 5 plus 2 and the minimum value of mod z is root 5 minus 2. Is it clear to all of you? Have you understood the application of triangular law of inequality? This is how we apply this law. Okay, now I will do the same sum by using graphical method. Look it carefully. Can I do it over here? Otherwise I have to turn the page. Just look it carefully from here that we have mod of z minus 2 plus iota is less than equals to 2 means mod of z minus 2 minus iota is less than equals to 2. It means what? That it represents, the z is lying inside and on the circumference of a circle whose center is at 2, minus 1 and whose radius is 2. Okay, so we can draw the circle here. It will look something like this. Yes or no? This point is 2, minus 1 and here the radius is 2. So your z is lying anywhere on this circle or inside the circle. Now, if I join this, you look it carefully. Let me just give a name. Let us say this is A, this is B, say this is C and this is D. Look it carefully. Your mod z is minimum when your z is lying at the point B. Tell me yes or no. Can you dream of any other point other than B where the distance from the origin will be least? No. So this is that required point. And when mod z will take its maximum value? When D is diametrically opposite of the point B. Is it clear? Therefore, your minimum value of mod z is AB and maximum value of mod z is AD. Is it clear? Now we have to calculate the value of AB. How we will do that? We will simply draw a perpendicular over here. Now this length is 2 and this length is 1. Okay? This length is 2, this length is 1. So from the Pythagoras theorem we can find out your AC is nothing but under root 2 square plus 1 square. That gives us root 5. Yes or no? Okay? So AC is root 5. BC, which is the radius of this circle, is 2. Therefore, your AB is nothing but root 5 minus 2. Therefore, the minimum value of mod z is root 5 minus 2. Have you understood it? Absolutely. Now, what about your AD? Your AC is root 5 and CD, which is the radius of this circle, which is 2. Therefore, maximum value of mod z will be root 5 plus 2. That is the advantage if we solve this kind of problems graphically. Because there is no complex calculation while solving graphically. Simply draw the diagram. If you have understood the locus properly, you can draw the diagram immediately, and from that diagram instantly you can answer whatever questions are given to you. Is it clear? Let us move for some other problem. So this question, for all complex numbers z1 and z2 satisfying mod of z1 equals to 12 and mod of z2 minus 3 minus 4 iota is 5, find the minimum value of mod of z1 minus z2. Mod of z1 equals to 12. What does it represent? It represents a circle with the center 0, 0 and radius 12 units, and Z1 is lying on the circumference of that circle. So let me draw it. This is the circle whose center is at the origin and radius is 12 units. Is it clear? And Z1 is lying on the circumference of this circle. Mod of Z2 minus 3 minus 4 iota is 5. Z2 is lying on the circumference of the circle whose center is at 3, 4 and radius is 5 units. Am I correct? Because from here you can write this thing as Z2 minus 3 plus 4 iota equals to 5. Therefore, Z2 is lying on a circle whose center is at 3, 4 and radius is 5 units. So 3, 4 will be somewhere here. Now, what is the distance from the origin to the point 3, 4? Can you tell me? The distance will be 5 units. Hence, this circle is passing through the origin. Therefore, the circle will look something like this. Is it clear? Let the center be P of the second circle and Z2 is lying anywhere on the circumference of this circle. Okay. Now, if we join OP and if we produce it, let us say it is intersecting the first circle at the point A and the second circle at the point P. Z1 is any point on this circle. Let us assume that Z1 is point A and Z2 is any point on this circle. Let us assume the point B is your Z2. Now, the minimum value of mod of Z1 minus Z2. What is mod of Z1 minus Z2? It is the distance between the points Z1 and Z2. Now, this distance will be minimum when Z1 is at A and Z2 is at B. Can you dream of any other points on this circle such that mod of Z1 minus Z2 will be minimum? No. Therefore, the minimum distance between Z1 and Z2 is AB. Is it clear or not? Now, OA. What is AB? AB is nothing but OA minus OB. Yes or no? OA is the radius of the first circle, which is nothing but your 12. And OB is the diameter of the second circle, which is nothing but 2 times its radius, that is 5. So 12 minus 10, that gives us 2 units. Therefore, the minimum value of mod of Z1 minus Z2 will be 2. Have you understood this problem? Let us move for another problem. Now let us try some sums on triangular law of inequality. See this question. Show that all the roots of the equation a1z cube plus a2z square plus a3z plus a4 is 3, where mod of a suffix I is less than equals to 1, be outside the circle with center at origin and radius 2 by 3. Okay. Now, let us start the sum. It has been given that now let me take mod on both sides. Is it clear? Now from the triangular law of inequality, we can write which is less than equals to, this can be written as a1 z cube a2 z square okay. You can see which properties of modulus I am using here. You can see it on the screen. So this can be written as is it okay? Now we have been given that a suffix I is less than equals to 1. That means A1, A2 all are less than equals to 1, right? So we can say that 3, which is basically this is less than or equals to. Have you understood why? Because A1, mod of A1 is less than equals to 1. So mod of A1 into mod of Z cube is less than equal to Z cube. Similarly, the other ones. Now, if you add the corresponding sides, we are going to get this relation. Is it clear? So, 3, I'm writing 3 is less than or equals to. Now, this is less than till infinity. This is the tricky part of this question, because always the sum till infinity is more than the sum of its sum parts, because 1 plus mod z square plus mod z cube, this will be less than 1 plus mod z square plus mod z cube till infinity, because this is a part of this series. Since this series is till infinity, hence it is greater than this term. Is it clear? Now we are applying the GP infinite series formula. So 3 will be less than, 3 is less than A by 1 minus R. This is the infinite GP series, and the sum for infinite GP series is A divided by 1 minus R, where A is the first term and R is the common ratio. Here the first term is 1 and the common ratio is mod of Z. So that exactly I have used. So from here we can say, so mod Z is greater than 1 minus 1/3. That implies mod Z is greater than 2/3. So what we have proved actually, so we have proved that all the roots of this equation satisfies the inequation mod Z is greater than 2/3, which implies that is all roots from this equation will lie outside the circle whose center is at the origin and radius is 2 by 3. Is it clear? So proved. It's a very important question. So you must remember the method that I have used. Is it clear? Let us take another example. If mod of Z plus 1 by Z is A, where A is a real number, then find the greatest and least value of mod Z. This sum is very, very important. See, we can use the triangular law of inequality and we can say that mod of Z plus 1 by Z can be written as, mod of Z plus 1 by Z can be written as greater than equals to mod of Z minus 1 by mod Z, which is equals to A. The value of mod Z plus 1 by Z is A. Therefore, minus A is less than equals to mod of Z minus 1 by mod Z is less than equals to A. Because we know that when mod X is less than equals to A, we write this thing as minus A less than equals to X less than equals to A, right? So that's exactly what I have used here. Now let me take this part and let us solve it. So what we are getting? So this is the first relation we got about mod Z. Now let me take the second part. That is, we are taking this part. So from here we can write is it clear to you or not? See how we are getting this. This is pretty simple. You simply take mod z square minus a mod z minus 1 equals to 0, let us say, and then apply Sridharacharya's method, that is minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac divided by twice a. You will get these two roots of mod z. Okay, so if we know that if alpha and beta are the two roots of any quadratic expression, then the quadratic expression can be written as x minus alpha into x minus beta. That's exactly what I have used here. Now the question comes, from the first one we got this, from the second one we got this. Now we have to find out the range of mod z which satisfies this condition as well as this condition. Okay, now you see, if I drop all those values on a number line, so we are getting now from the first inequation we are getting that your mod z is more than this point, or it is less than equals to this point. So this is the region that exactly what we are getting from the first inequation. And from the second one we are getting that mod z is lying between this point and this point, right? Therefore, we can see easily from this number line that this portion is the only common region which satisfy both this inequation. Therefore, your mod z will be greater than equals to and less than equals to. Is it clear? And that's your answer. So from here we can say that mod z maximum value will be a plus root over a square plus 4 by 2, and the minimum value of mod z will be under root a square plus 4 minus a divided by 2. That's it. Have you understood the problem clearly? Now those who are facing problem with the inequation, I have given the link of my video of inequations in the description box. Please check it and see that video so that you will be comfortable with the inequation chapter. Let us take another example. See this question. If mod z is less than equals to 1 and mod w is less than equals to 1, then show that mod of z minus w whole square is less than equals to mod z minus mod w whole square plus argument of z minus argument of w whole square. Is it clear? Now let us assume that argument of z is say theta 1 and argument of say w is say theta 2. Okay. Now mod of z minus w whole square can be written as which can also be written as, so if we multiply, what we are going to have? Z bar can be written as mod z square, w into w bar can be written as w square minus wz bar minus zw bar, plus. Is it clear now? Now we know that wz bar plus zw bar can be written as 2 mod z, 2 mod w, mod z cos theta 1 minus theta 2. Is it clear? So we can write this thing as I have subtracted 2 mod z mod w and I have added 2 mod z mod w. So I have written nothing. Why I have done this? Because I will take this 3 to get our formula, which is very much given in the proof part, which is square, right? To get this thing, I have subtracted and I have added. Now if I take 2 mod z mod w common from this 2, so we are having 1 minus cos theta 1 minus theta 2, which can also be written as one minus cos theta can be written as 2 sine square theta by 2. So we are having like now we all know that sine theta is always less than or equals to theta. Sine theta is always less than equals to theta means I can say z minus w square will be less than equals to Is this part clear or not? Let me explain this part little more elaborately. We are having mod of z minus w whole square equals to mod z minus mod w whole square plus 4 mod z mod w sine square theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2. We know that sine theta is less than equals to theta for all theta belongs to R. Okay? Thus, sine square theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2 is less than equals to theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2 whole square. Now let me multiply both sides with 4 mod z mod w. So we are having 4 mod z mod w sine square theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2 is less than equals to 4 mod z mod w theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2 whole square, right? Now if I add on both sides of the inequation mod z minus mod w whole square, so we are getting in the left hand side of the inequation which is equals to mod of z minus w whole square, and in the right hand side we are getting mod z minus mod w whole square plus 4 mod z mod w into theta 1 minus theta 2 by 2 whole square. Is it clear? So this gives you if I open the bracket, it will be theta 1 minus theta 2 whole square divided by 4. 4 goes off. So it is mod z mod w theta 1 minus theta 2 square. Again, it has been said that in the question, mod z is less than equals to 1 and mod w is less than equals to 1. So again from this inequation we are getting which is less than equals to Is it clear? So the final answer will be theta 1 is nothing but your argument of z. So arc z minus arc w whole square. Is it clear to all of you? Have you understood the problem clearly? Okay. So this problem, the locus of z, which lies in the shaded region is this one, is best represented by 4 options are given. Now, first of all, let me just give a name of this point. Let us say this is A and this point is B. Now, what is the distance AP? AP is basically under root. I'm using the distance formula to calculate the distance of AP. Is it clear? So the length of AP is 2 units. What about AB? The length of AB is again 2 units because this is the x-axis actually, right? Because the points we can easily see just by looking the points. The point is -1, 0 and 1, 0. The ordinate of these coordinates are 0 means it is on the x-axis. What is the length AQ? Is it clear? So what we have understood just by calculating the length that AP, AB and AQ, they are same. The lengths are same. Okay. So can we say that this is nothing but the arc of a circle whose center is at -1, 0 and radius is 2 units? Yes or no, tell me. Okay. Now what is the slope of the line AP? Slope of AP is 1. Therefore, this angle is nothing but pi/4. Okay. Now, what is the slope of the line AQ? It's coming to -1. Therefore, this angle is -pi/4. Is it clear? Now, Z is anywhere in this shaded region. Now, anywhere Z lies in this shaded region, the distance of Z from A, look it carefully, the distance of Z, anywhere Z lying in the shaded region, the distance between Z and A will be more than the radius of this circle. That is, it will be more than 2. So the first condition that we are getting is the distance between Z and -1, 0 is represented by Z plus 1 and that is greater than 2. Is it clear? This is the first condition that we got. Now anywhere Z lies in the shaded region, look it carefully, the argument of that point associated with the complex number Z will be less than pi/4. And if suppose Z is here, then the argument is this angle, which is more than -pi/4. So wherever this Z lies within this region, the argument of the line joining the point -1, 0 and Z will never exceed pi/4, or it cannot come down below -pi/4. So what you can write? We can write any ray which is emanating from the point -1, 0, Z is lying on that line. The argument of that line will always lie between -pi/4 and pi/4. That is, in mathematical notation we can write that argument of Z plus 1. What is argument of Z plus 1? It is the ray emanating from the point -1, 0 and Z is lying on that line. Argument of that complex number will be less than pi/4 and greater than -pi/4. So in one word we can say mod of argument of Z plus 1 is less than pi/4. We know that when mod x is less than a, x always lies between -a and a. That's exactly what I have used. Is it clear? Therefore, the best representation of the shaded region is nothing but option A. Have you understood this problem clearly? Absolutely. So that's all for this video. See you in my next video with more interesting topic on the same chapter. Till then, goodbye and take care.